How are you going to lead your cult? Hello there, I'm Shilin Cotton, and today I'm here with TheGamer to walk you through all the best doctrines and rituals in Cult of the Lamb. As you nurture the loyalty of your followers or go about killing heretics on your crusades, you will occasionally collect a fragment of a commandment stone. 3 fragments equal 1 whole commandment stone. Commandment stones can be used to unlock new doctrines at your temple, which in turn can unlock new rituals. Interacting with your followers is by far the easiest way to level up your doctrines. Every time you max out their loyalty level, you collect a fragment of a commandment stone. At Tier 1 of the Afterlife Doctrine, your choices are between belief in sacrifice, which causes your followers to gain 20 faith whenever you perform the sacrifice of flesh ritual, or belief in the afterlife, which instead reduces the faith penalty of a follower dying. Of the two, belief in sacrifice is better overall. It rewards you with more faith, and if you're generous with your sacrifices, hopefully you won't have too many followers dying of old age anyway. Next up, your choice is between the Ritual of Resurrection, which allows you to bring a dead follower back to life, or Funeral, a ritual for conducting a memorial service for dead followers, restoring 20 faith. Ritual of Resurrection can be useful, but it should never be used to bring back elderly followers who are just going to die again anyway. Of the two, Funeral is a bit better. Ritual of Resurrection costs a whopping 150 bones, whereas Funeral essentially negates the penalty for a follower dying. On Tier 3 of the Afterlife, you can choose between Respect Your Elders, which will give you a small permanent faith increase for every living elder, or the Good Die Young Doctrine, which will grant 10 faith whenever an elder is sacrificed, murdered, or consumed, but costs you 20 faith if the elder dies naturally. It sounds evil, but at the end of the day, elder followers don't really benefit you at all, and if you let them die naturally, they'll cost you faith anyway. Might as well get it over with and get a little extra faith with the Good Die Young Doctrine. The last tier of the Afterlife Doctrine is split between Return to the Earth, which lets you construct a natural burial over body pits, or Grieve the Fallen, which instead gives you graves to build over body pits. The graves you get from Grieve the Fallen are much handier than natural burials. Followers who pass by a grave will mourn and generate a little bit of faith. You could even place these graves throughout your camp to increase the chances of followers bumping into one. Your first tier of the Law and Order Doctrine pits you against 2 choices. Punish Sin, which unlocks the ability to murder a follower by interacting with them, or Praise Virtue, which unlocks the Ritual of Ascension. Both of these options gives you a way of eliminating followers when needed. However, murdering a follower will require building a body pit, which takes extra resources, and if you murder a follower in view of other cultists, it will cost a huge faith penalty. Of the two, the Ritual of Ascension is a bit cleaner. Your next choice of Law and Order Doctrines is the Ritualistic Fight Pit, a ritual where you choose 2 followers to fight to the death, or Wedding, which lets the lamb marry one of their followers. As fun as the Ritualistic Fight Pit sounds, while it does increase your cult's faith, it also requires offing one of your followers. Whereas a Wedding increases your cult's faith by 30, and from then on you can smooch them once a day for extra loyalty. Tier 3 of Law and Order is a choice between Belief in Original Sin, which will reduce the faith penalty for jailing a loyal follower, or Absolution, which grants the cult 10 faith every day that there are no followers in prison. Honestly, there's no reason to be jailing followers who aren't dissenting anyway, so Absolution is by far the better choice. Lastly, at Tier 4 of Law and Order, you must choose between having a Loyalty Enforcer, a designated follower who goes around increasing the loyalty of other cultists, or a Tax Enforcer, which designates a follower to collect coins from your cult on your behalf. This one is really up to you, as both enforcers have their uses. If you are already swimming in gold, however, you might want to spring for the Loyalty Enforcer. Your first choice in the Possessions Doctrinal Tree is Extort Tithes, which allows you to interact with a follower and yoink a coin from them once a day. Or Bribe a Follower, which instead allows you to give a follower 3 coins to boost their loyalty. In early game, both of these doctrines are pretty good. though of the two, extort tithes is a neat way of getting a little extra cash. At Tier 2, your choices are between the Materialism Doctrine, which grants a faith boost whenever a follower's sleeping quarters are upgraded, or False Idols, which increases the bonus faith you get whenever you place a decoration. While these are both good, chances are in early game you won't be placing very many decorations. However, you will be wanting to upgrade your follower's sleeping bag stat, so materialism will net you more faith in the short term. Tier 3 of possessions gives you a choice of 2 rituals. Alms for the Poor, a ritual that allows you to spend coins to increase your cult's faith and loyalty, or Ritual of Enrichment, which will cost you faith but force your followers to fork over a large amount of coins. Ritual of Enrichment might just be one of the best rituals in Cult of the Lamb. It gives you a huge amount of gold, and if you follow it up with your daily sermon, you'll recoup that lost faith anyway. The last tier of possessions doctrines is between Sacral Architecture, which will increase the faith bonus from constructing a building, or Devotees, which increases the faith bonus from your sermon. Devotees all the way. You might not have need to upgrade or construct a new building every day, but you will be giving a sermon every day, so Devotees has the biggest benefit. At Tier 1 of the Sustenance Doctrine, you can pick between 2 rituals. The Ritual Fast, which forces your followers not to eat for 3 days but will not suffer from starvation, or the Feasting Ritual, which will increase your cult's faith and fill their tummies. Both of these rituals are good for the start of the game when you're low on food ingredients. Ritual Fast can help you crusade for longer without having to worry about your cult, whereas Feasting Ritual will temporarily feed your hungry followers and recover any lost faith in one fell swoop. At Tier 2, you can choose between the Cannibal trait or the Grass Eater trait. The Cannibal trait will give you 5 faith every time a cult member eats a meal made from follower meat, whereas the Grass Eater trait negates all penalties from eating grassy gruel. Realistically, grass is the most abundant resource in the game, so picking the Grass Eater trait makes feeding your flock 10 times easier. Tier 3 of Sustenance is a choice between Ritual of the Harvest, which will cause all seeds currently planted to instantly grow, or Ritual of the Sea's Bounty, which will temporarily increase the number and rarity of fish you can catch at Pilgrim's Passage. Both of these rituals are a huge step towards keeping your cult well fed. Both will get you huge quantities of ingredients, but Ritual of the Harvest offers a more instant reward. The last tier of the Sustenance Doctrine is between Substances Encouraged, which will increase the cult's faith whenever the brainwashing ritual is used, or Belief in Prohibitionism, which forces followers to permanently work and pray 10% faster, but increases the chance of followers getting sick after the brainwashing ritual. Boosting the faith of the brainwashing ritual might sound tempting, but the brainwashing ritual locks your faith anyway, so the extra faith is a bit of a waste. Whereas you really can't go wrong with followers working and praying even faster. At your first tier of the Work and Worship Doctrine tree, you can pick between the Faithful trait, which causes followers to generate devotion 15% faster, or the Industrious trait, which will force followers to work 15% faster. This choice is really a matter of preference. The Faithful trait will help you unlock advanced buildings faster, whereas the Industrious trait will ensure you have the building materials you need to construct new buildings. Next up, you choose between Inspire Followers, which will replace the Bless action as an interaction as it generates more faith and loyalty, or Intimidate Followers, which also replaces Bless, yet doesn't net you as much faith and loyalty, but forces your followers to work 10% faster for the next 2 days. Inspiring followers will be more helpful overall, as leveling up their loyalty will speed up how fast you level up your combat power and divine inspiration. At Tier 3, we have the Glory of Construction, which unlocks a ritual that will immediately construct any unfinished buildings already placed, or Ritual of Enlightenment, which will increase the devotion your followers generate at the shrine for the next 3 days. It will cost you some faith, but the Ritual of Enlightenment is the better pick simply because it helps you speed through the Divine Inspiration tree, unlocking more advanced buildings. And lastly, at Tier 4 of the Work and Worship Doctrine tree, you must choose between Glory through Toil, a ritual that forces your followers to work for 3 days without sleeping but also without becoming exhausted, or the Holy Day ritual, which will give your followers a day of rest, gaining 80 faith. The only instance in which you would need to generate 80 faith in a hurry is if something has gone seriously wrong. Assuming that doesn't happen, Glory through Toil is the better ritual, as it will only help you speed through farming resources. Alright, so just to recap, here are all the doctrines and rituals we recommend unlocking in Cult of the Lamb. In Afterlife, pick belief in sacrifice, funeral, good die young trait, and grieve the fallen. In work and worship, you'll want to choose the faithful trait, inspire, ritual of enlightenment, and glory through toil. In possessions, you want extort tithes, belief in materialism, ritual of enrichment, followed by the devotee trait. For law and order, the ascend follower ritual, wedding, belief in absolution, and loyalty enforcer. And lastly, in the sustenance tree, pick the feasting ritual, grass eater trait, ritual of the harvest, and belief in prohibitionism. For more tips and guides for Cult of the Lamb, be sure to check out TheGamer.com.